Hello everyone, Franktastic here, and welcome to some Ghost Recon Breakpoint. And in this video, I am going to try my best to show some strategies that I have came up with myself on how to effectively, accurately, correctly, properly, efficiently use the engineer class. Now, I did just recently release a engineer class review, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of add this apart to the whole engineer class review series playlist. I do have a little bit more experience with the engineer class now than when I made that episode, so I technically have two strategies that I've came up with so far, but I think I'm just going to show you one in this video and then maybe show you the second one in another video. It all depends on what happens in this video. Right now, I am just going to quickly go over the loadout that I have. Now, I did go over a bunch of stuff about the engineer class, and I compared it to the assault class and the field medic class. And if you missed that video, go ahead and check that out before you watch this video, because I did cover a lot of interesting things about the engineer class in that video. Because this video, I probably won't cover that stuff. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the loadout that I have set up. Obviously, I'm using the engineer class. I'm using the drone hunter perk. I am using the sensor hack perk, and I am also using the Recon Mastery perk. Now, if you know me, and if you normally watch my stealth videos, then you know that I always play no HUD, so I don't have enemy markers or anything like that on. But even if you don't have the enemy markers on, you still technically mark the enemies, even if you can't see it. So I have been messing around with the perks, and I have discovered that using the Recon Mastery perk for at least one of my strategies that I've come up with is very, very useful. You have negative 15% technique cooldown when you mark an enemy with your drone. That 50 plus XP gain, for me, I don't even need to worry about that because I'm already maxed out level. But the technique cooldown is what's really going to allow this strategy to shine and work. So moving on from the perks, I'm going to cover the weapons I've chosen. In the engineer review video, I was using the M4A1. In this video, I've switched over to the MK17 because it does use the 7.62, which is a more powerful bullet compared to the 5.56. And since the engineer class is based on taking down drones and using explosives, I feel like a 7.62 rifle is the much better weapon to use in this class. But looking at the attachments I have the short barrel, the extended magazine, the flash hider, the Maul laser sight, the EXP3XG33 sight, which personally is my favorite sight in the game, and then the grenade launcher, because the engineer class does have a grenade launcher bonus with it. And then the pistol is just the CSFP, and then I have the Mark 1 mines and then the Mark 1 frag grenades, mostly because of just how many you actually have. It has a higher capacity compared to the Mark 2 versions. Let's go ahead and move on. Now, I do have the technique gauge on, so I can actually see it, and I do have enemy markings on, and I only have those on for this video, so it would help me showcase what's going on. But this strategy is pretty much using your defense drone for taking out majority of the human NPCs. I do not recommend using it against drones, enemy drones, because the enemy drone will either just waste too much of the defense drone's time or just not be taken down. So I do most definitely recommend using your defense drone to take out enemy NPCs. But as you can see in the bottom left corner, I don't know if you can actually see it, but my technique gauge is not filled up. So with this Recon Mastery with a negative 15 technique cooldown, this is really going to help boost your technique gauge. And like I said in my engineer review video, getting the engineer's technique gauge to fill up is actually quite difficult. I mean, it's not hard, but it does take time. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and just mark just a few of these enemies in this area. There's not many enemies in this base to begin with, so this shouldn't take too much time. So I might just go ahead and mark everybody. Okay, so I think I have marked the majority of the enemies in this base. I'm not seeing anybody else. I have spotted pretty much everyone that I have expected to spot. So there's not that many. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think there's just 8 people here. And let's see how much marking 8 people will get me up. So marking 8 enemies, and it probably didn't even take that many, and maybe it took 7 or 6 or maybe even 5. I just marked everybody here before I actually got out of the recon drone. But just marking 8 enemies so far, it filled up my technique gauge. So now what I'm going to do is find a decent area. And honestly, I could probably just stay right here, but I'm not going to. I'm going to place a mine at this door. If the game will let me place a mine. What are you doing? What are you doing? Just place the mine. Just place the mine. Just place the mine. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Not what I was expecting. My character was just not placing the damn mine, but either way, I can still do what I am planning to do. So, I was trying to place the mine at that door and then get inside the warehouse. I was just gonna hold up in the warehouse and then show you the strategy, but the guy, my character, just wouldn't place the damn mine, and then when I was trying to get inside of the warehouse, he just wouldn't move, and I was moving the thumbstick, and that vehicle spotted me, so I just had to take them down. But either way, not a big deal. They're not like super alerted. They're just kind of interested in what that noise was. But with that being said, I'm probably going to move my character around on this side just in case. I can actually probably move over here a little bit more. I think, yeah, there's someone right there. Okay, so I'm going to. So it seems like everybody.
Get down, soldiers!
Someone ran up against my mine, which is fine. It's not a big deal. I'm going to go ahead and activate my defense drone, and then I'm going to send up my recon drone. Now I'm going to mark these enemies manually. Now, I am manually marking these enemies, and my drone is going and killing these guys. Now, there is a range. Yeah. So there is a certain range. Like if they're too far away, then your drone won't go and kill them. Like this guy's too far away. Even if I get right up on him, he's just too far away from me, my character. Probably mark that guy. Or this guy. Yeah. So whenever the drone thing on the left side of the corner lights up blue like that, that means the mark has been activated and your drone is attacking them. So even though I'm not manually, and my technique gauge ran out, which is totally fine. Now, my original plan would have gone a whole lot smoother than this if the game didn't bug out and have my character just holding a mine. Because what you really want to do with the strategy is kind of centralize yourself in the most centered, or at least the most populated part of the compound. That way, the range and distance between you and the majority of the enemies isn't too far away. But since I was pretty much on like the outskirt of the compound, when these guys was like in the middle of the compound, my drone wouldn't go attack them. But literally, the only guy left is the this sniper, and he wasn't even worried, concerned about anything. But yes, so this strategy that I am showcasing in this video is pretty much using your drone to eliminate the majority of the human enemies and a compound. So I'm going to go ahead and move over to this next base and try to do it again. So I am moving on foot between base to base, and I see these three contacts to my 10 o'clock. I don't have to kill them, but since I do need my technique gauge to fill up, I'm going to go ahead and mark them just to get my technique gauge to kind of go up some. And that's a little tip there. If you're a player who likes to move on foot from mission to mission, objective to objective, base to base, then if you're trying to get your technique gauge up, then you can most definitely take out or just mark the enemies out in the open free world, free roam area like this to get your technique gauge up. And you don't even have to kill them, but just marking them would most definitely help boost it. So there's a little tip for you there. So I'm right outside of the this secondary compound that I wanted to take out. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this guy with my drone, just in case I do decide to take him down with my pistol, which I probably will. But what I'm wanting to do for this base is I want to get up on this roof. Or any roof really, but this roof right here is most definitely where I want to be. Now that rocket guy might actually see me, to be honest. I'm not 100% sure on the rocket gunner's eyesight range compared to these snipers. But I am normally very cautious around anybody who is on a rooftop. Snipers do have the longest eyesight range, or detection range, I guess you could, is the correct term for it. But I want to get up on a rooftop and then try to move closer to the middle of the base from up here. So technically I would really want to move to that corner right there. So that's what I'm going to attempt here. Okay, so if you look at the bottom left side of the screen, I have like a sliver missing from my technique gauge. So I'm just going to send my recon drone up, mark this one guy right here, and there we go, it's full. So now I'm going to activate my defense drone. Send up my recon drone, and then just start marking these guys for it to take out. Now the only thing with the recon drone, or at least the defense drone, is sometimes it does take a couple of shots for it to actually kill the enemy. See, like, it's fighting that guy, and it's just taking forever to take him down. Now, if you don't have any enemies marked, it would just go back to you and defend you. So every time, as soon as it kills somebody, I am immediately marking the next target. And you mark a target with LB, RB, the same buttons you use to activate the drone. Now that's a turret. I don't really see the defense drone taking down a turret or a drone. But that's pretty much it. That's the base. The base is clear, just like that. This guy's still alive, but not for long. And that's that. And I know these two bases are pretty small farms, but I really, personally, I don't really have a lot of time to spend on recording this video. But if I can, I'm going to try to hit this base right here. It looks like there's a faction mission right here as well. But I'm going to go ahead and see if I can hit this base. If not, then I'm going to go ahead and end the video right here. So this base right here isn't hard, but it is a bit bigger, and there is a bit more enemies here. So I'm going to go ahead, and since I do need my technique gauge to fill up before I can even use my defense drone, I'm going to go ahead and mark a couple enemies. 1, 2. I don't know if marking turrets actually gets it up. I can go ahead and try to use this convoy that's passing by. So my technique gauge is now filled up. Gonna let this convoy pass. No need for me to attack this convoy. It's not the purpose of this video. Every base and every situation is different. It all depends on what you plan to do. Now I know realistically that guy should see me, but I know how this game works, so that's why I was able to run across, because his eyesight's very low. So what I want to do is I want to put myself on top of this roof right here where that helicopter is at my 9 o'clock. Or technically my camera's facing this way, so I guess you could say my 12 o'clock. But yeah, I want to put myself on top of this roof. But if that is too complicated or going to be too hard or too tricky, then I can go ahead and stay right here. I can either continue to move that way, flank right of this compound, or I can try to flank left, or I can simply stay in this bush, activate my drone, and then combine it with this and eliminate everyone that's in the area. I really want the sniper to be taken out. Which, for these things to pop up over the enemy's head like that, that is in the communication settings, by the way. I wasn't sure what it was, but it is in the communication settings. See, like this guy's too far. So I need to mark people who... So if they have the thing above their head, then that means your drone can attack them. Well, you want to try to watch and not mark people that's like not marked. This sniper's too far away, so I can't actually get him. Now, since these guys are running inside the building, I actually don't know how my drone's going to react to that. I don't know if it's in there attacking these guys or what. I don't know where my drone is now, to be honest. Oh, it's okay. So yeah, okay, so it was attacking them. Okay, so it's now gone. They saw it destroy because the timer on it ran out, so they're probably calming down. So I'm going to try to mark the rest of the enemies that's not marked to get my technique gauge back up. I think I also need to turn on, just so I can see the drone, I think I need to turn on allies. I think I need that on, maybe, or teammates. I'm not sure. So whenever I send up my defense drone, I should be able to actually see it, because I think the drone actually went inside the this building, but I couldn't see him, so I didn't know if he was in there or not until he came out and I saw the blue light. But I am missing a sliver from my technique gauge, so I'm going to see if there's anything. There's a turret here. Would that work? No. Okay, so now I know for a fact that marking turrets and possibly drones do not affect anything, which is fine, because since it's only a sliver, I can move and take out the easiest target. See that guy? And now I can move around and take out these two guys over here, because these two guys over here would be easy targets. I don't know if deactivating a turret counts. Okay, so my technique gauge is up. I'm going to actually move to this roof now. I'm on the roof. The sniper is facing this direction, so another tip you can do. Snipers and rocket gunners are people who normally won't move or turn unless they're actually in combat. But this guy's facing my direction, and I want to speed this process up, so I'm gonna...
I think we're gonna find it. Hey.
pretty much fly my drone towards him and get as close as I can without actually touching him. And then as soon as he like turns, because he got alerted by the drone or the sound, just immediately get out of your drone and he won't spot it. And now, since he's pretty much one of those static type of enemies, I can just sneak all the way up on him and take him down.
Yeah, but a lot of shit can go wrong. One of them dies on us, we're gonna have hell to pay.
Is the guy I just killed literally just talking? Okay, so I feel like being right here, like in this area right here, would be more centralized. So I'm gonna go ahead and activate my defense drone. And then start marking these guys.
Enemy contacts in my sector. I'm going in. Let's go, let's go.
Now the heavy, I can actually take him out myself. But yeah, whenever that lights up blue like that, then that means you marking the enemy is activating the drone.
You're dead, asshole. Damn it.
I'm trying to get the targets that's easier for the drone to take out.
That's all they got, fellas. Ah!
The drone does seem like it has like a slight delay sometimes. It's not always super efficient. It is most definitely taking these guys out.
Let's kill 'em all.
These guys are just dancing around. I am noticing that the turret is actually not even firing on the drone, so that's actually pretty interesting. That is new information for me. But I think all the human hostiles are dead. So now what I can do is just blow the Ginny. And this base is clear. Just like that. I'm not sure how many bullets I actually shot or how many people I actually had to kill myself. But I know the people I did have to kill was just trying to get my technique gauge up. So it's all situational. It's all depending on the scenario and situation you are in. But it is most definitely... I feel like this is a really neat and interesting strategy to use for the engineer class. And I could see myself using the engineer class just doing this because I think it would be really funny, really fun, really cool, really interesting. But I do have a second strategy guide that I will probably go over in another video. But I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you found all this information really useful. I hope maybe this has shined some light on a new way to use the engineer class. And it kind of makes me think that the engineer class isn't exactly a run and gun type class like assault or even the field medic is, but you could still technically use it in that way. And that's kind of what I go over in the second strategy guide that I'm gonna be working on soon. But this one right here, I really actually love this strategy. I don't know why, but I really love it. It's so interesting. Just freaking marking these guys and just my drone flying around and just taking them out. And I don't know, I think it's really cool. It's different, I guess you could say. It's totally different than anything else that's in the game right now. And so yeah, I like it. You can even technically use this of course as a distraction, yes, but you can even use this as like a stealth type way. Like you're just stealthily slowly moving through the base, and every time your technique gets up, you can just activate the drone and your recon drone, combine those two together and just get your defense drone to fly off and kill some people. And then the base would get alerted, of course, but your drone would be able to take out, you know, a lot of the human NPCs. And as you notice, the turrets didn't even fire at it. And then by the time that and once the drone breaks because the timer ran out, then the enemy just goes back to their normal patrols because they think, oh, the enemy's dead, even though it's not. You know, there's just a timer ran out and you're still there hiding, you know, behind a door or something, just waiting for someone to walk by so you can break their neck. But that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Click that like button if you did. Click that subscribe button if you're new to this channel. And I am Franktastic. I hope you have an amazing day, and you will see me in the next video.